As a part of CFS, today we'll try last class till which some normal problems we tried on holding subsidiary consolidation. Then last class we tried different reporting dates, what will happen. It's a basic level problems, piecemeal acquisition. In piecemeal acquisition there are two types. Initially you are not getting control, subsequently you are getting control. Initially itself you are getting control, subsequently additional control you are acquiring. Or one problem in which we tried, first we acquired control, subsequently the control got reduced, but still control was there. Originally you could have bought 1600 shares, subsequently you will be holding only 1200 shares. Then if it is subsequently only you are getting control, it is like any other problem only. It's not something new for us. But first itself you are getting control, subsequently you are getting additional control, means whatever we take it as capital for second lot, it will be revenue for first lot. So for these type of problems alone, the chart is not going to change. You need to have two columns, DOA1, DOA2. DOC will be only one only. Minority interest, there is no need to bifurcate capital revenue. Revenue profit also DOA1, DOA2, like that you need to have two columns. Finally we will summarize and we will tell what is the final goodwill, capital reserve, etc. Then next variety, different reporting dates we tried. Today we will give introduction for new area, multiple subsidiaries. So far what we have seen, A is holding in B only. Now there will be another company also C, A will be holding in C also, which we call as multiple subsidiary. Then after that we will be seeing A will be holding in B, B will be holding in C, chain holding will be C. This is most important of all, that we will try later. Now today we will try multiple subsidiaries. So it is like as usual that Kamran, what he used to tell to his assistants, when assistants are asking what you are planning to do for the general public, then Kamran will ask, what is it I have done so far to you? Nothing. Same thing for these people also. உங்களே நம்பிட்டு இருக்காங்க, என்ன பண்ணலான்றீங்க, உங்களுக்கு இவ்வளவு தான் என்ன பண்ண, ஒண்ணுமே பண்ணல, அதான் உங்களுக்கு. Whatever we have done for A to B, in this problem we need to do it for two companies. There is nothing great we are going to do. Clear? Question number 22. Kindly take question number 22. Aditya will read question number 22.
On 31st March 2011, D Limited became the holding company of C Limited and D Limited by acquiring 450 lakh fully paid shares in C Limited for 6750 lakhs and 240 lakhs fully paid shares in D Limited for 2160 lakhs. On that day, C Limited showed a balance of 2550 lakhs in general reserve and a credit balance of 900 lakhs in P&L account. On the same day, D Limited showed a debit balance of 360 lakhs in profit account. After 1 year, on 31st March 2012, the summarized balance sheet of these three companies stood as follows: fully paid of equity share of rupees 10 each, general reserve, P&L account, 15 lakh fully paid, 9.5 debentures of rupees 100 each, loan from C Limited, bills payable, sundry creditors, assets, machinery, furniture and fittings, 450 lakh shares in D Limited, 240 lakh shares in D Limited, 3 lakh debentures in D Limited, stocks, sundry data, cash and bank balance, loan to D Limited, bills receivable. The following points relating to the above mentioned balance sheet are to be noted. All the bills payable appearing in D Limited's balance sheet were accepted in favor of C Limited, out of which bills amounting to 75 lakhs were endorsed by C Limited in favor of D Limited, and bills amounting to 45 lakhs have been discounted by C Limited with its bank. On 29th March 2012, D Limited remitted 15 lakh by means of check to C Limited to return part of the loan. C Limited received the check only after 31st March 2012. Stocks of C Limited includes goods purchased from D Limited for 200 lakhs. D Limited invoiced the goods at cost plus 20%. In August 2011, C Limited declared and distributed dividend at 10% for the year ended 31st March 2011. D Limited credited the dividend received to its profit and loss. We are required to prepare a consolidated balance sheet of D Limited and subsidiary C Limited and D Limited as at 31st March 2011.
So consolidation date 31st March 12. 31st March 11 holding company, and on the date C Limited showed a balance of 2550 and general reserve credit balance of this much. D Limited showed a debit balance. First time we are seeing this. While doing classification, we should be careful. Now, as you are told, for any other problem what we have done, here also you need to do. First, date of acquisition. It is B in C, B in D. Both 1411 or 31/3/11 only. Date of consolidation 31/3/12. 3-0. Post 12 months. Percentage. How many shares are held? Number of shares? 450. 450 out of 750. 60%. Here 240 out of 300. 80%. Minority interest 40%. 20%. Here. Then next classification. First for D Limited. Then we can do C Limited. D Limited, the only item under reserves and surplus is profit and loss account. So profit and loss account on 31/3/12, 735. The 735 on 1411 during 11/12. It is given on the same date. D Limited showed a debit balance of 360 lakhs in profit and loss account. Clear? Then any other adjustment regarding D Limited profit and loss account given? That is relating to P&L. Adjustment are there, like bills payable, remittances, etc. Relating to P&L. Like I am asking, like dividend. Dividend all it is not possible because it is loss. Okay. So what is the current year profit? 1095. This is going to be capital. This is going to be revenue. So far we have seen profit. Now with this problem we are having loss. That's all. Then any other stock reserve adjustment relating to D Limited? Nothing. And one more thing, this company B Limited is also holding some debentures in D Limited. 3 lakh debentures in D Limited. Totally how many debentures are there in D Limited? 15. 1500, 100 each means 15 lakhs debentures we have. So D C in D's debentures. Cost how much? Sorry? 2,94,000. And what is the face value? 300. 3 into 100. Now it is like cost 294, sale value 300 mean will result in profit on cancellation equal to 6. Sorry. B in D's debenture. Profit on cancellation 6 rupees, and for whom it is profit? Parent company. So parent company profit will be consolidation only. That's all. So D Limited over. Now C Limited we have adjustments. For C Limited, we have general reserve. General reserve on 31/3/12. 3150 on 14/11 2550 during 11/12 600 capital revenue. Profit and loss account on 31/3/12 1200. 1200 on 14/11 balance 900, but it is given in adjustment number 4. In current year they declared distribute dividend 10% for the last year 10%. So what is the total capital of C Limited? 7500 into 10%, 750, balance 150. So for the year 11/12 1050 capital revenue. And stocks with C Limited includes goods purchased from B Limited. Stock reserve B Limited to C Limited. Downstream. So cost 200 lakhs. Sorry. Sale price. Then stock reserve or markup 1/4 on cost or 1/5 on selling price. So stock reserve 40 rupees. Since it is downstream, it will be adjusted in consolidated P&L only because it is parent's profit. Then bills payable, remittance and all relating to balance sheet. Nothing relating to the chart we need to worry. There is no other adjustment we have. We can go for chart. So chart, whatever we tried 1, here we can try 2. Or another possibility, you can have simultaneously 2 workings also. It is like first you can try only D. This D for which whatever goodwill, minority interest, profit and loss and all you are getting, that you add it when you say normally we will just finally add CFS of the parent. Before adding that CFS of parent, first you try for D, then you try for C, or first you try for C, then you try for D. Before adding SFS of parent, you add the another ones, goodwill, minority interest, etc. Also, you will get total goodwill, minority interest, etc. Here, or simultaneously, this way also you can try. For example, D, C, DOA, DOC, then revenue reserve, P&L. Do you have a reserve for D? So revenue P&L only. Here DOA, DOC, revenue, reserve and P&L. I'll do only. We'll take, this will be easy. Reserve, P&L. Equity. Then general reserve, 3150 2550. Here it is nil. P&L 600 revenue. P&L 1200. 150 capital, 1050 revenue. Here 735 negative 360 1095. Do you have any revaluation profit or loss? No. So there is no additional or short depreciation. Any upstream stock reserve adjustment? No. That's all. Total net assets. Sorry, 10,200, 11,850, 600, 1050. Here 240, 1095. Percentage of holding in C 60, 40, 60, 60, 80, 20, 80. Share of net assets 6120, 4740, 360, 630. Here 21 211 2 747 876. Kindly check it out. 876. This is 747. Huh? Okay. Now investments. Investments for C Limited 6750. Do you have any adjustment for D? I think so. C is there. So here 2160. So here less pre-acquisition dividend. The total dividend, it is 750. Out of 750, 60% is pre-acquisition. 450. Net 6,300. Resulting in goodwill. Here also we need to reduce 450 because it is credited to P&L. $180 here. Goodwill only 48. Then any other adjustment we have? Stock reserve adjustment we have. Stock reserve for C Limited 40 to be adjusted in P&L, and for D Limited we have debenture profit on cancellation of debenture 6 rupees here. Then do you have any proposed dividend? No. Over. So what you will get here, first of all, 48 goodwill, 747 minority interest, 882 P&L. This is carry forward. Here if you brought forward 48, brought forward of D, just to mix everything. Finally 747 nil 882. SFS of parent 33,000 9,000. CFS 180 plus 48 228 goodwill, 4740 plus 147 5487 minority interest, 33,360 consolidated reserves, 630 minus 450 minus 40 plus 882 plus 9,000 202. This is consolidated P&L. Clear? Then you can try balance sheet. Balance sheet you try, some issue will be there, then we'll address. First you copy up to this. So there is nothing new working and all we are going to do. What we tried for that normal problem CFS, we are trying for multiple subsidy. Cutoff have we completed? So if possible, here it is not required, at least in these places within brackets in lakhs you write. Especially when you prepare balance sheet, rupees in lakhs you need to. Delimited over stock reserve have we completed? So in case if you find it difficult having opening this many columns, you can first try one and then you can try another one. Not an issue. This is not a statutory format and all, we are not doing anything. Up to total net assets have we completed? Ten percentage, 750 only. 7,500 into 10%. Balance sheet you try. Have you completed? Up to this have you completed? Balance sheet you try. Equity share capital 27,000. Reserves and surplus. General reserve 33,360. Profit and loss account 10,022. Minority interest 5487. Debentures 1200 because we had 1500, 300 cancelled. So actually, if you read point number 2, adjustment number 2, on 29 March 2012, D Limited remitted 15 lakhs by means of a check to C Limited to return part of the loan. C Limited received the check only after 31st March 2012. If you look it into asset side of C Limited, you can notice loan to D Limited 90. And if you look it into liabilities of D Limited, you can see loan from C Limited 75. So they could have already sent check, but it is received, it is like remittances in transit, received only by or only on or after 31st March 12. So to whatever extent we have mutual owings means, it is already reduced in liability. Now mutual owings cancellation will be there only to the extent of 75. 15 will be shown in asset side as remittances in transit. Here loan from C 75, mutual owings 75 nil, it will get cancelled. Then similarly bills payable, sundry creditors. Then creditors there is no issue. B, C, D. Bills payable will take it 1400, 2700, 930. Total 1400 plus 2700 plus 930. 730. Now, do you have any other proposed dividend like that? Nothing. Bills payable we have kept pending. Coming to asset side, machinery. B, C, D. Total. Or even before that, goodwill 228. Machinery total 48 600. Furniture 6000, 1500, 600. Investments, all investments got cancelled. Stock 16,500, 3,000, 1,500. Stock reserve 40. So net 20,960. Debtors 11,640. Loan to D, just to listen, we can write it as 90. Then mutual owings 75, remittance in transit 15, so nil, loan will be nil. Then cash balance when you are showing for B, C, D, B 3201, cash and bank 1050 900, in transit 50. How much? 5166. So except for bills receivable and payable, everything we have completed. After this over. Now bills payable, we have it for D, only D 150. Here bills receivable for B 195, C 60. Okay. Now we read one adjustment number 1. All the bills payable appearing in D limited, that is entire 150, was accepted in favor of C limited. So C limited, in which how much they are showing? Was accepted in favor of C limited, of which 75 lakhs were endorsed in favor of, endorsed by C limited in favor of B limited, and bills amounting to 45 lakhs has been discounted by C limited with its bank. So originally all the bills appearing D limited were accepted in favor of C limited, they are telling. So here it should have been 150, and just before solving the problem, here 150, that is B, C, D, B, C, D, and it was in favor of C limited, so here also 150 it should have been. Then what happens, out of which bills amounting to 75 lakhs were endorsed by C limited in favor of B limited. So this could have become 75, and their creditors could have become, no, because of endorsement made by C limited to B limited, will there be any impact in D limited books? No, it is only creditors of C limited will reduce. What is the journal entry? Creditors account debit to, that is in this case B limited account debit to bills receivable. It will not affect D limited books. And bills amounting to 45 lakhs has been discounted by C limited with its bank. Clear? So 45, if you just take 30. No, 45 it is discounted with bank. So all put together totally. Sorry? Cash will increase. So 45 means still they will have 30. Now what is the overall position as of now means? Sorry? No, in C they are showing 60. Sorry? So how much we need to remove from both the sides?
Creditors of C, in B column you have to remove 45.
Creditors of B column.
That is for C, D will be a creditor, you have to reduce 45 because they are transferring the bills into the journal entry.
No, debtor creditor, is it?
In D limited, we have to say bills payable of 45.
In B limited?
In D limited.
D limited?
We have to say 45 rupees bills payable. And in
45 rupees.
It's a endorsed bank.
D limited is liable to pay to whom how much?
Liable to pay bank 45.
D limited liable to pay bank 45. Then
75.
B limited has to pay, D limited has to pay to B 75. D limited has to pay to C 30. So how much mutual loans we need to cancel? 105 we need to cancel on both the sides. We'll repeat. Originally in both the sides it was, that is 150. Then subsequently what could have happened? Out of this 150, 75 worth of bill were endorsed by C limited in favor of B limited. So here it could have become 75. Here it could have become 75. Then of the 75, 45 is discounted with bank. So this could have become 30. Because of discounting or endorsing, liability of D will not reduce. Still it will be 150. Now the position is out of 150. 75 is payable to B. 45 is payable to bank. 30 is payable to C. Now 30 payable to C and 75 payable to B will be cancelled as mutual owings. So to be precise, mutual owings 105. Mutual owings 105. It is already discounted with bank. Do we need to adjust cash again?
It already entered.
So net here 45, here 150. Check it up the total. 94. Tally 8 40. 94 840. 44 840. Yeah.
No, sir. 94 844.
94 844. 94 844.